Hello, my friends. This is Tracy. Today, I want to talk to you about a new management reality. For more than 40 years, I have observed businesses, worked with thousands of companies, and trained millions of people worldwide. I have seen markets change, technologies evolve, and organizations transform. And again, I have noticed the same paradox. A company does everything right. The strategy is in place. The product is excellent. The team is motivated, and yet the market does not respond. The company becomes invisible to its customers. This is not a management mistake. It is a gap in the system itself. As we say in pre-strategy, the first mistake is always blindness. Pre-strategy is the discipline that eliminates blindness. We have seen this many times in business history. Nokia built excellent phones, but it lost the stage and disappeared. Losing the stage cost Nokia $150 billion in market value in just 5 years. Kodak had all the technology for digital photography, but it held on to the old category of film and vanished. They didn't lose in production. They didn't lose in management. They lost in context. A misread scene destroys even perfect strategy. If the stage is wrong, even the best product will die. These cases illustrate one clear truth. Classic strategy begins too late. Strategy collapses when recognition is missing. Before you begin to build marketing, positioning, or a brand, you need your own 0 kilometer, a fixed starting point from which all movement begins. Without it, you cannot know where you are or where you must go. You cannot act until you appear. The beginning of every strategy is recognition, not movement. By 0 kilometer, I mean the exact moment and place where your company first appears in the mind of the customer. The moment when people finally see you and recognize you and understand why you matter. Recognition precedes understanding. Meaning becomes real through recognition. This moment gives meaning and direction to everything that follows. Your marketing, your sales, your brand, and your strategy. Pre-strategy is the 0 kilometer of business. It does not extend strategy. It makes strategy possible. It is, as we say, the starting point of meaning. The 0 kilometer is the moment when the lights turn on, when the market first sees you on the stage and your business truly begins. Without this moment, even the strongest performance remains in the dark. And everything else, advertising, sales, even strategy, becomes an effort without impact. Action without appearance is noise. Look at Airbnb. Its 0 kilometer was the moment a traveler opened the door of an ordinary apartment in a foreign city and suddenly felt, I'm home. That moment reshaped the entire category of travel. The market rewards what it recognizes. Businesses rise when their form is seen. To feel this, imagine simple images. An actor can step onto the stage and perform brilliantly. But if the lights are not turned on, his journey to the audience never begins. A tree is the same tree, but in a garden, it grows easily. In a desert with great difficulty, and on the moon and Mars, it is almost impossible. The scene changes, and the starting point changes with it. And with it, the effort required changes. The scene determines the effort required. Seeing the scene is seeing the truth. The 0 kilometer is not just the beginning of a road, it is the stage on which everything unfolds. In the theater, the 0 kilometer is the moment when the lights go on. Without it, the actor cannot reach the audience. The tree, the 0 kilometer, is the soil where it grows a garden, a desert, or Mars. Its growth depends on that starting point. In business, free strategy defines your 0 kilometer, the initial scene that gives meaning to everything else. Marketing, sales, brand. Without it, you are like the actor in the dark, or the tree in the desert. You make great efforts, but the results are minimal. Without a scene, there is no business. Orientation precedes direction. Now, let's look at the C-suite. The Chief Executive Officer, CEO, answers, where are we going? The Chief Strategy Officer, CSO, answers, how will we get there? The Chief Financial Officer, the CFO, manages the money. The Chief Technology Officer, CPO, manages the technology. But here is the missing piece. Who answers the question, in what scene do we exist? Who holds the tensions that will shape the markets of the future? In most companies, no such person exists, and this is where billions in market value are lost, including from your company and your pockets. Leaders misfire when they skip the scene. To close this gap, a new role emerges, the Chief Strategy Officer, or CPrO. Who is the CPrO? It is the executive who is responsible for choosing the right 0 kilometer, for making sure the company appears in the perception of customers before competition even begins. As we say, you compete only after you appear. The CPrO asks fundamental questions. How does the company appear in the eyes of customers? How are we seen before we start to compete? In what form do we emerge in the mind of the market? Form is the first carrier of trust. People choose the form before the function. In essence, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, answers, where are we going? The Chief Strategy Officer, CSO, answers, how will we get there? And the CPrO answers, where are we now, and in what logic must we act? This role reduces strategic risk, stabilizes the course of the CEO, and protects the company's market value in the eyes of investors. That is the task of the CPrO, to help the company pass through the turning points when the old indicators still look fine, but growth has already stopped. Tension is the earliest signal of change. Seeing the tension is seeing the future. Think of history. In the 1980s, almost nobody talked about Chief Marketing Officer, CMO. Today, no major company exists without one. The same was true of the Chief Information Officer, CIO. When IT systems appeared, at first it looked like a fashion. Very quickly, it became a necessity. Today, the same is happening with the CPrO. In just a few years, it will be impossible to imagine a serious company without this role. Every new role in the C-suite was born out of necessity. The Chief Financial Officer, CFO, appeared when finance became too important to manage as a leftover. The Chief Information Officer, CIO, appeared with digitalization. The Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, became standard with the rise of cyber threats. And today, in an era of chaotic markets and accelerating technology, the next indispensable role is the CPrO. Early companies that introduce the CPrO will gain an advantage in market value, just like those that were first to bring in CFOs or CIOs. 10 years ago, without a Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, companies lost billions to cyber attacks. 3 to 5 years from now, without a CPrO, companies will lose billions from choosing the wrong stage. Scenes move. Leaders must learn to move with them. The CPrO helps the company identify its scene, recognize tensions, fix its role, and move into a category where the market acknowledges it. Category is where the market places you in mind. Recognition is the ignition point of growth. Tension is not a breakdown or a fire. It is an early signal that the company is investing effort in something in the market no longer values. We keep increasing quantity, but quality is already gone. This is not a direct problem, it is a pre-problem. But it is this that determines the company's future. Yaroslav Kaplan's and I wrote the book, Grow Your Business Faster, the practical system to power your market before you compete, where we showed that many companies become invisible, even with strong products and teams, because they skip this zero stage, the moment before strategy. Together, we came to the conclusion that the world needs a new role in the C-suite, the Chief Pre-Strategy Officer. We have already laid the foundation of pre-strategy in our book, and now I am proud that we are developing it further as a new institution, the role of the CPrO. And we are not only speaking about a new method, but about an entire future ecosystem. It includes the Pre-Strategy Academy, an educational center to prepare CPROs, the Pre-Strategy OS, a technology platform, a working desk for the CPrO, and licensing and certification that will make pre-strategy a new international management standard. Write to the email at the end of this video and you will receive key materials and metrics on pre-strategy. This is Brian Tracy. I'm a foundational contributor to the pre-strategy discipline, and I can tell you from experience that pre-strategy is one of the most important breakthroughs in modern management thinking. It shows leaders what truly matters. Strategy does not begin with movement, it begins with recognition. You cannot act until you appear. The market rewards what it recognizes, and businesses rise when their form is seen. Pre-strategy gives companies the clarity to see their true zero kilometer, the moment where meaning begins, where context becomes visible, and where leadership finally gains orientation. And the Chief Pre-Strategy Officer, CPrO, is the executive who protects that moment. In a world where scenes move and markets shift faster than plans, the ability to see before you act is no longer a luxury. It is the foundation of competitiveness. This is why I believe pre-strategy will shape the next generation of leaders, and why the CPrO will soon become one of the most critical roles in the modern C-suite.